Hello, welcome back to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. I'm Connie and I'm one of your Dixie Belle brand ambassadors. The video today is a little bit different. We're going to be painting something, but we're going to be starting from a piece that's already painted in Dixie Belle products. So I get asked the question quite a lot, what happens if you change your mind and you want to repaint a piece? What are the steps that I need to do? So I'm going to show you on this piece behind how to take a piece that's already finished and repaint it. So this is the little table that I'm going to be repainting. It's actually painted in Terra Clay paint and I sealed it with Terra Matte. And there is a little bit of gold gilding wax on there as well. So the first thing that I need to do is to take that gilding wax off, and that's because it's an oil-based product. So I'm using white spirits. You can also use clean spirits, which is a similar version but also doesn't smell so much. And I'm just rubbing away that gilding wax, and that's because oil-based products don't mix well with water-based products. So I just want to make sure that I've got rid of that. Although it has been on there for a while and it has cured, I'm just going to play it safe and take it off. And it only took a few minutes anyway. After that, I'm going to clean it down with Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner. And this is going to get rid of any oils that are on the surface left over from that white spirits. And also anything else that may have built up in that time. Also, when you are using Dixie Belle's White Lightning, remember to always rinse it as well after you give it a good clean. That just takes any cleaning residue off the surface. Now, I am going to lightly sand this down. You don't have to do this step, and that's mainly because I've got a stencil on here, and that stencil would be visible if I painted over the top of it. You'd still be able to see the outline of it. So I'm just going to take that down so it's nice and smooth. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and repaint it. So it really is quite simple to repaint something. The key is to basically take anything oil-based off first. If you haven't got anything oil-based on, just give it a little wipe down, depending on how long you've used it, and then rinse it, and you can go straight ahead and paint it. You don't need to do the sanding step. I only did that because I had the stencil. So I'm going to go straight ahead and paint a base colour of Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint in the colour Peacock, which is a really bright blue, all over this little table. And then I'm going to go in with a slightly different colour. So I'm going to go in with a two-toned look. I'm going to go for a kind of a boho look with this. The second colour that I'm going to use is the Gulf. So it's still a kind of a turquoisey blue shade, but it's a lot lighter. It's a touch more greener, I'd say, as well. And this is going to give me quite a nice contrast. I like using colours that are fairly similar. It gives you quite a nice kind of tonal range. So I'm just going to add some on a paper plate. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that as well, just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. So it's going to make it a little bit thinner and not quite cover as well. And the way that I'm going to apply this is with a blue sponge. I'm going to cut it up so that I can basically get a flat surface. It also just gives you a little bit more sponge to play with, makes it last a little bit longer. And I'm going to dab it in the paint and then kind of just sponge it all over. So this is just going to give me a kind of a textured effect without having any texture to it. And I'm just working in small areas so that it doesn't allow the paint to dry down too quickly, because what I'm going to do is just use a damp rag and a little spritz of water here and there, and then I'm just going to remove it in areas to bring that peacock, which is the base colour, the darker blue, I'm going to bring that through in certain areas. So this is just going to add a nice bit of dimension to the table and a little bit of interest, and like I say, it just gives you a really nice kind of two-tone look with the two bluey turquoisey colours. Then I'm going to add a silkscreen stencil on the front of the drawer. These are really good for smaller areas of detail because they are super intricate. They've also got a self-adhesive backing, which means that stencils don't budge. You also don't get bleed through. And I'm using the original base colour, which is Peacock, to apply the pattern all over the drawer front. Then with the same brush that I applied the paint for the stencil, I'm just going to slightly dry brush the areas around the edges of the drawer and the corners of the table. And this is just going to bring that peacock back in those areas and just add a little bit more dimension. So the trick is with dry brushing to have as little product on your bristles as possible and just to build it up really gradually. So you can just see it's just adding a slight hint of peacock on those edges. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle on this table. So I'm using Stick With Me, which is a glue that is specially designed to be used with Dixie Shine, and I'm just applying it in certain areas. So wherever you apply your glue is where you are going to see your Dixie Shine. If you don't apply the glue, the Dixie Shine won't stick. It's as simple as that. And you can use this with a stencil. You can use it in certain areas like I'm doing with a brush just to highlight the edges of a drawer or the corners of a table. But essentially wherever you put your glue is where you are going to get your Dixie Shine. So once you've applied your glue, you want to leave it to basically turn clear. When you put it on, it's going to look white, and then you want to be able to not see it. I mean, when you can see it if the light shines on it, it looks obviously shiny, a little bit kind of glossy, but essentially you don't want it to be white. You want it to be really tacky and for the glue to have gone clear. And then I usually cut small strips of my Dixie Shine. I'm using the colour copper here, but it also comes in silver and gold. And you basically just press it over the top of where you've applied your Stick With Me glue, and that is where you are going to get your super shiny metallic accents. So you can see on this table I've chosen to highlight the kind of corners and edges of the legs because it does have a really pretty shape. And you can also build this up. So if you don't quite have the right coverage, you can apply another layer of glue and then go in with another layer of Dixie Shine. And you don't have to top coat this product, but you can if you want to. I'm going to because I just want to basically add a little bit of dark wax afterwards. So I'm just going to give it a coat of satin clear coat, and that's just going to give me a really nice base to add my black wax, which I'm going to do now. Once the clear coat is completely dried, I just went in with a premium chip brush, my best dang wax in black, and then again I'm just going to go around the areas where I want to add a little bit of shading and where I want to deepen the colour. I'm going in quite heavy with this product, as you can see, but because I've added that clear coat first, it means that I can wipe it back and I can get more control over the placement of that black wax. As always, I like to show you a couple of close-ups of how it finished. So here's the curvy leg. I went quite heavy with the copper at the bottom. And here is a close-up of the angled picture so that you can see the copper catching the light. And here's how the table finished up. I hope you like it. Don't forget, if you want to check out any of the products that I've used in the video today, you can head to your local Dixie Belle retailer or purchase them online on the Dixie Belle website. Thank you for watching as always, and I will catch you next time. Bye.